Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Stingy. If you're new around here, I make weekly Teleria, Surron and other e-moto content. Now today I've got a really special video to show you guys. I did put up a reel on my Instagram the other day. It went kind of viral. It's on, I think, 600,000 views. Lots of people arguing in the comment section about my bike. So I thought I'm going to do a full mod overview on my Surron Ultra Bee. So I'm going to preface this by saying that the bike is dirty. It gets used probably about 100 miles a week almost. I'm going to start at the beginning, what mod I put on it first, and then we're going to work our way through till we've shown you everything on the full bike. So the first mod I put on this bike is the WGT Racing 2118 wheel set. So these are the WGT Racing 2118 wheel sets, super high quality. I went for a custom silver hub, silver nipple, black spokes and black rim. But the really cool thing about the rim is it's actually got silver paint splatters. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it really stands out and looks great. I've also got a 100/118 rear tire and an 80/121 front tire. Now these tires are really impressing me at the moment. They get spun up all the time, as you can imagine, having nearly 80 horsepower. These are spinning, these are sliding around corners when it's hard and dry. And they're wearing really slowly. I'm really impressed. Now they are a road legal tire, so you can use them and still get an MOT in the UK. But yeah, overall, really impressed with the grip, really impressed with the lifespan of the tires. And yeah, just a great upgrade, really changed the handling and characteristics of this bike. The second thing I put on the bike after putting these wheels on is the TORP TC1000 controller. TORP kindly sent me a care package. This was a really big deal for me, having the TC1000, because this bike is actually a road legal model, which means I've got all the original switchgear and the original display, and everything still works as it did out of the box. Now, the TORP TC1000, I initially tried it with my standard Ultra Bee battery. Now, the keen-eyed among you would have noticed that originally I had the 2023 to early 24 motor on the bike. That paired with the original battery and the TC1000 got me up to top speed of 74 miles per hour using the stock battery and almost 20 kilowatts of power. Shortly after TORP sent me their TC1000, I actually got the 80 volt 76 amp hour E-Watt battery. Now this battery is an absolute beast. I'm yet to run it fully out on a ride. I've had 50 miles out of it on a day out when I've been actually pushing the bike pretty hard with a mixture of 20 kilowatts and 50 kilowatts on the road and on the trails. So I'm really impressed with that. And then shortly after I got the battery, TORP again came through, love them for this. They sent me the TM50 Pro Motor. Now I've had this motor for quite a while now, before it was available to buy online, and I've been putting it through its paces. So far, with this configuration with the controller, the battery and the motor, I've had 1,350 phase amps peak out of this setup, and I've had 55.5 kilowatts peak. I think that's the limit for this battery. I don't think we're going to get any more power out of it, but let me tell you, it's an absolute rocket. And if you haven't seen the video where I installed the motor, I'll drop it in the link below so that you can go and have a look, check it out. This thing was wheeling 60 miles an hour just off of the throttle alone. So another massive aesthetic part on this bike is the graphics kit. Now, this is a chrome black and silver graphics kit. Kind of wanted it to match my Teleria Sting, which I still have. I think it turned out great. It's quite subtle, but it gives it a nice bit of flair in the sun. And to partner up with that, we got the Thrill Seeker seat cover. Now this seat cover is a custom cover, black sides, grey top and white ribs. I like to put white ribs on all my bike. I don't know, they get dirty, but I think it looks pretty cool. Moving forward again, I had to get this battery lid, which was originally white. I had to get it painted in 2K black paint. So now it's all gloss black. It looks pretty good, blends in with the bike. You wouldn't notice it was an aftermarket battery lid, but unfortunately you have to use it with the 80 volt battery, otherwise it doesn't fit. Okay, so this bike actually has a number of things that are custom to me that I've designed or engineered to work on this bike. So I'm going to take you through them now, and they are the lighting system on the bike. So I've engineered a lighting system that works perfectly with the OEM controls. So if you come in a bit closer, I still have all the factory controls. The horn still works, the reverse button works, the hazards light still works, so the blinkers if you're from the US. So as you can see on the display, they're lighting up. The blinkers are now on. We'll show you that in a second. And yeah, everything, even the headlight switch still works as OEM, but they are massively upgraded over stock. So we'll start at the back light and then we'll move forward to the front. So under here we have a custom rear light that I actually made and designed with the help of one of my friends. This isn't one that's been ready bought. This is a complete custom design which integrates using the standard 4 bolt holes, all the existing hardware, and it comes with quick connectors, so you can just quick connect it straight up to the existing light system. So as you can see, we have our brake light, we have our indicators built into it, we also have our hazards. So this is a fully legal rear lighting option that I like, and the best part about this is because it's so low profile and flush, the rear tyre never hits it even under full compression. So that's pretty much it for the back. Nice and simple, tidy and minimalist. So moving forward to the front, the first thing that really stand out to you guys is the Baja Designs pod light. So this is the Squadron Pro. I got this through Prickly. Prickly also made the mount to adapt it to fit on this bike perfectly. Now they also connected up the Ultra Bee connection, so it works with the standard headlight switch, which I really like. And now a lot of people don't notice my indicator setup, but my blinker and indicator setup is right here. So these are 2 smoked out mini indicator pods. So if I put my hazards on, you can see they're actually super bright. I really like these. They were pretty much plug and play with the existing connections and also with the fitment onto the bike. So yeah, neatly tucked away, not too visible, but still very easy to see when they're on. If anyone's interested in getting one of these lighting kits for their own bike, whether you want the front indicators, the back light, there'll be a separate link for the headlight itself, but the indicators and the rear light, you can contact me at Stingy Roger on Instagram with 2 R's, and yeah, I'll be able to sort you guys out the kit. So furthermore, when we move on again, eager-eyed viewers might notice that my front fender with the 21-inch front wheel actually has so much clearance. The standard Ultra Bee front fender is quite sloped down like a witch's nose, so it can clash on the tyre under bottoming out the forks. So what I did to combat this was I actually made a little shim system which goes in here, fits in perfectly with the 4 existing bolt holes, and that just corrects the angle of the front fender, makes it look a lot better, and also stops any bottoming out problems. So another thing that I have on the front of this bike, which I really love, are the WGT Racing fork crowns. Now, these are CNC billet fork crowns. They also come with a new stem and cap. You can't see that because I've got my bars on. We'll cover the bars in a second, but yeah, they just add a bit of flair. They're a lot lighter. They're thicker clamping areas, and yeah, I just think they look much better than the standard ones, which are cast, so they're a bit weaker and they're prone to cracking. On the forks themselves, I've actually got these fork leg guards. I made these myself. These came off my Teleria Sting, but I put them on here. They just make the forks look a bit better, a bit thicker. I think they add about 3 millimeters of thickness to them and stop me scratching the fork legs.
Bruh. Bruh.
Oh, we've also got on this bike just some little blingy parts which were sent to me by WGT Will. Thank you, Will. I really do appreciate them. So we've got the side plate here, the battery guard. We also have the WGT Racing linkage and the road rashed WGT Racing foot pegs. Now these foot pegs are super grippy. They don't fill with mud because they've got nice holes in them, and you can actually replace the center piece of the foot pegs if you wear them out. I did this sliding along a road at about 50 miles an hour. Don't recommend doing that, but yeah, to my surprise they were perfectly fine. Nothing was bent, and yeah, got straight back on the bike and we got out again. So the last 2 things on this bike are all in the cockpit. As you can see, it looks fairly standard, but we do have the ODI CFT flex bars. Now these bars are really special because underneath this pad here, there is actually a vibration dampener. So these bars do flex quite a bit, and each end of this rod is attached to a piston in the middle, which absorbs vibration. And then obviously the bar pad just stops you smashing your face on it if you crash, which is always good. I really like these bars. They are the KTM OE sweep, so they're very similar to the OEM bar in terms of sweep, but they just raise it by 18 millimeters, which I think personally everyone should do. It's a much better stance and much more comfortable. If you're taller, you can even go higher, but I would do that using the clamps underneath instead, because then you start to get into a bit of a weird sweep. And the last and final part I put on this bike were not only these ODI full waffle grips, but the FX throttle. So this throttle is super crispy. If any of you follow some bigger YouTubes on Instagram like Surron Star, Zay Solis, Logan Taylor. Those guys have this throttle as well. I got this sent to me by Matt over at FX many weeks ago. But because I was changing the bars, I wasn't going to put it on straight away. But now I've put it on, it's unreal. You've got 3 adjustable spring tensions. It's a Honeywell Hall sensor in it, which goes from 0 volts resting to 5 volts at max. So you've got 5 volts of voltage range. Really good. And yeah, when you've got close to 80 horsepower, a really good throttle is very important. I do also have a genuine Starkvarg Heisman throttle, but it's plastic, so they feel very similar in response, very good response, but this being CNC and adjustable, and it has a bearing inside so that no dirt can get in. It's a sealed unit. This one takes the win for me. So yeah, guys, that's my bike breakdown. So guys, that's all of the mods on this bike I think we've covered. There are a few mods coming up in the near future. The standard suspension is not going to be staying on this bike, and no, I'm not putting Cirrus suspension on the bike. The suspension that's going on this bike is something that no one's seen before. It's a brand new product to the market, fits in a much better price category, and yeah, I just think it's going to make some waves in the community. But as always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the build. If you want to see any videos of me riding this bike, go back onto the channel, have a look. There's a few on there that I've put up in the last few months where I've been ripping this on the trails, on the road, showing what it's really capable of. The bike does currently weigh 102 kilograms, so it's not light by any means, but compare it to something with similar power, Starkvarg, when you put those on the scales, they're about 118 kilos, so it still is light in comparison. But yeah, guys, stay tuned for next week. We've got some great videos coming out. In the UK, the weather's really improved, so we've got much more time to film, many more daylight hours, and make sure you smash that subscribe button. And as always, see you next week.